Breaking news. Here are the top headlines for today. Jantar Mantar protests and traffic congestion plea. Madras High Court to hear Vice Chancellor appointment cases. NIMS Hyderabad completes 1000 robotic surgeries. Drug-free youth for Viksit Bharat campaign. Tamil Nadu moves Supreme Court in Kaveri water dispute. Hello, good evening and welcome to the Competitive Edges Daily Current Affairs series. Today is 3rd August 2026 evening. We are here to help aspirants of civil services, APPSC Group 1 and 2, UPSC, SSC, RRB, Bank PO exams, Police SI and Constables, Junior and Degree College lecturers. Let's dive straight into the news. Moving on to news related to national. Jantar Mantar protests and traffic congestion plea. The Supreme Court of India asked the central government to consider a plea stating that Jantar Mantar is unsuitable for protests due to severe traffic disruptions in central Delhi. Location of protests in question, Jantar Mantar, Central Delhi. Issue raised, prolonged traffic snarls and commuting hardships for ordinary citizens. Judicial body involved, Supreme Court of India. Madras High Court to hear Vice Chancellor appointment cases. The Madras High Court scheduled final hearings for cases related to Vice Chancellor appointments on 2nd September. Judges involved, Chief Justice Shri Sushrut Arvind Dharmadhikari and Justice Shri G. Arul Murugan. Hearing date fixed, 2nd September. Reason for no interim order, pleadings were incomplete. Static GK, the Governor of the state acts as the Chancellor of state universities in Tamil Nadu, traditionally appointing Vice-Chancellors. Drug-free youth for Viksit Bharat campaign. The campaign highlights the government's comprehensive strategy and enforcement record against substance abuse among the youth. Background, launched to eradicate drug abuse and mobilize youth towards achieving the vision of a developed nation. Campaign name, Drug-Free Youth for Viksit Bharat. Objective, curb drug abuse through targeted enforcement and awareness strategies. Tamil Nadu moves Supreme Court in Kaveri water dispute. Tamil Nadu petitioned the Supreme Court seeking directives for Karnataka to release its fair share of Kaveri river water due to inadequate releases. Background, the Kaveri water sharing dispute is a long-standing interstate water dispute involving Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, and Puducherry. Petitioner state, Tamil Nadu. Respondent state, Karnataka. Core issue, inadequate release of Kaveri water. Constitutional references, Article 262 of the Constitution of India provides for the adjudication of disputes relating to waters of interstate rivers. Parliament passes legislation on Supreme Court judge strength and MSME. During the Parliament monsoon session, the Lok Sabha passed a bill to increase Supreme Court judge strength to 38, while the Rajya Sabha passed the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Bill. New sanctioned strength of Supreme Court judges, 38. House that passed the judge strength bill, Lok Sabha. House that passed the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Bill, Rajya Sabha. Debate over E20 fuel and petrol station options. Shri Arvind Kejriwal wrote to the centre demanding the availability of both pure petrol and E20 fuel options at petrol stations alongside a price reduction for ethanol-blended petrol. Fuel type discussed, E20 fuel, ethanol-blended petrol. Key demands, availability of pure petrol alongside E20 and price reduction for blended fuel. Supreme Court clarification on withdrawal of student FIRs. The Supreme Court clarified that states possess the legal authority to withdraw first information reports filed against students in accordance with the law. Legal subject, withdrawal of first information reports against students. Authority, state governments, in accordance with the law. Telangana financial burden due to loan repayments. The repayment of principal and interest on loans continues to severely impact the financial health of Telangana, compounded by pension liabilities. Primary fiscal pressure, repayment of principal and interest on state loans. Additional financial burden, expenditure on regular pensions and proposed medical pensions for specific ailments. Passing away of Justice M.S. Librahan. Justice Manmohan Singh Librahan, who headed the inquiry commission into the Babri Masjid demolition, passed away. Background: Justice Librahan began his legal practice at the Punjab and Haryana High Court in 1964 and served on the Punjab and Haryana Bar Council from August 1970 to February 1987. Justice M.S. Librahan headed the Librahan Commission. The commission investigated the demolition of the Babri Masjid. He started his legal practice at the Punjab and Haryana High Court in the year 1964. Kaveri dispute and political reactions. Former Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy criticized the government regarding the safeguarding of a permanent solution to the Kaveri water dispute. The dispute involves sharing of Kaveri river waters between southern states, primarily Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Issues involve the Kaveri and Mikidatu projects. Kerala flood emergency preparations. Emergency preparations were announced in Pathanamthitta district to tackle flood situations caused by extreme rainfall. Chief Minister announced emergency measures in Pathanamthitta. Concerns were raised regarding delays in weather forecasts from the India Meteorological Department. Static GK, Pathanamthitta is often referred to as the pilgrimage capital of Kerala as it houses the Sabrimala temple. Tamil Nadu agriculture budget and demands. Farmers and traders pitched reforms for water and markets ahead of the agriculture budget, reeling from drought and El Nino impacts. Farmers demanded immediate financial compensation for lost crops. Crops suffered severe impacts due to drought and El Nino. Assam flood interim relief. The Assam government released the first tranche of interim relief to households affected by floods. Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma released the relief funds. The first tranche amount is 75,000 rupee per affected household. The announcement was made from the worst affected district of Dibrugarh. ISRO Chief on Science and Space Missions. Indian Space Research Organization chief emphasized that science must become a priority for space missions with increased funding. ISRO chief stated the agency's role is to mentor and develop the domestic industry ecosystem. The new space policy aims to aid private sector space companies in India. Static GK, Indian Space Research Organization headquarters is located in Bengaluru, Karnataka. Supreme Court query on frozen bank accounts. The Supreme Court questioned the Enforcement Directorate regarding whether a political party can access frozen funds for daily operational expenses. The High Court earlier refused interim relief to the faction led by Mamata Banerjee to operate 3 frozen party bank accounts. The accounts were frozen by the Enforcement Directorate during an investigation. Supreme Court extends Section 498A to live-in relationships. The Supreme Court of India ruled that anti-cruelty laws under Section 498 apply to live-in relationships that are in the nature of marriage. Legal provision, Section 498 of the Indian Penal Code corresponding Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita provision. Scope applies strictly to live-in relationships deemed in the nature of marriage. Safeguards includes judicial checks and safeguards against immediate arbitrary arrest. Constitutional references, Article 21, Right to Life and Personal Liberty, and Article 14, Right to Equality, of the Constitution of India. Supreme Court hearing on Transgender Persons Amendment Act. The Supreme Court scheduled hearings regarding challenges to the Transgender Persons Act, noting issues with the National Portal for Transgender Persons. Issue: non-functionality of the National Portal for Transgender Persons. Purpose of portal: issuance of identity cards to transgender individuals. Upcoming hearing date: 17th August. Constitutional references, Article 14, Article 15, and Article 21 of the Constitution of India. Parliamentary panel clears corporate law reforms. A parliamentary committee approved amendments to corporate laws aimed at reducing procedural hurdles for company incorporation while ensuring safeguards. Focus, ease of doing business and regulatory compliance. Objective, balance procedural burden reduction with strict corporate governance safeguards. Tamil Nadu approaches Supreme Court in Kaveri water dispute. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Shri C. Joseph Vijay directed the state government to move the Supreme Court over Karnataka's failure to release mandated Kaveri water. State involved, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Regulatory bodies, Kaveri Water Management Authority and Kaveri Water Regulation Committee. Core dispute, non-compliance with mandated water release quotas. Static GK, the Kaveri River originates in Talkaveri in the western Ghats of Karnataka and flows through Karnataka and Tamil Nadu before emptying into the Bay of Bengal. Lok Sabha introduces bill to modernize bank records evidence law. The Lok Sabha introduced a proposed legislation to replace an 1891 colonial-era statute by recognizing digital and virtual bank records as legal evidence. Predecessor law, Bankers' Books Evidence Act, 1891. Key modification, recognition of digital, cloud, and virtual records as admissible court evidence. House, Lok Sabha. Parliament passes legislation raising Supreme Court judge strength to 38. The Parliament passed a bill replacing an earlier ordinance to increase the maximum sanctioned strength of Supreme Court judges to 38. New sanctioned strength, 38 judges, including the Chief Justice of India. Previous strength, 34 judges. Purpose, to tackle mounting pendency of cases. Constitutional references. Article 124 of the Constitution of India deals with the establishment and constitution of the Supreme Court. Thiruparangundram Hill Lamp Dispute. The Supreme Court of India tagged and adjourned the Tamil Nadu government's plea challenging a Madras High Court order regarding the lighting of a lamp on the Thiruparangundram Hill. Background: the dispute involves religious and archaeological rites concerning the sacred hill located in Madurai district, Tamil Nadu. Location: Thiruparangundram Hill, Madurai district, Tamil Nadu. Legal forum: Supreme Court of India and Madras High Court. Static GK, Thiruparangundram is famous for the Subramania Swami temple, which is the first of the 6 abodes of Murugan. Constitutional references, Articles 25 and 26 of the Constitution of India regarding freedom of religion. Supreme Court relief on national eligibility entrance test protests first information reports. The Supreme Court of India clarified that state governments can withdraw first information reports filed against protesters of the national eligibility entrance test, provided the students have no antecedents of grave and heinous offences. Background: various student agitations erupted across India following controversies and disputes surrounding the national eligibility entrance test examinations. Eligibility for relief: students must lack antecedents involving grave and heinous offences. Action permitted: state governments empowered to withdraw first information reports. Constitutional references, Article 142 of the Constitution of India grants the Supreme Court plenary jurisdiction to do complete justice. Aam Aadmi Party march against ethanol-blended petrol policy. Aam Aadmi Party Chief Shri Arvind Kejriwal announced a march to Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's residence to protest against the E20 fuel policy. Background: the E20 fuel policy mandates the use of 20% ethanol-blended petrol to reduce India's crude oil import dependency. Protest leader, Shri Arvind Kejriwal. Target recipient, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. Core demand: submission of over 2 lakh public petitions seeking changes to the ethanol-blended petrol policy. Policy focus: E20 fuel policy involving 20% ethanol blending. Shortcut to remember: E20 equals 20% ethanol blending. BRICS Anti-Corruption Working Group Meeting. The BRICS Anti-Corruption Working Group meeting is scheduled to be held in Hyderabad on August 4th and 5th. Background: the meetings are aligned with the rotating presidency priorities of member nations focusing on multilateral cooperation against economic crimes. Dates: August 4th and 5th. Venue: Hyderabad, Telangana. Theme: Building for Resilience, Innovation, Cooperation and Sustainability. Static GK, BRICS comprises Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Public interest litigation on Jantar Mantar protest venue. The Supreme Court agreed to examine a public interest litigation seeking an alternative venue to Jantar Mantar in New Delhi for staging demonstrations. Background: protests at Jantar Mantar have historically been used for demonstrations, but local residents have raised grievances regarding civic disruptions. Issue: disruption of essential goods supply and medical services due to protests. Location in focus: Jantar Mantar, New Delhi. Legal recourse: public interest litigation in the Supreme Court. Static GK, Jantar Mantar is an astronomical observatory built by Maharaja Jai Singh II of Jaipur in the 18th century. Constitutional references: Article 19, 1b, guarantees the right to assemble peaceably and without arms. Supreme Court directives on encroachment-free walking spaces. The Supreme Court directed the central authorities to ensure that every road features encroachment-free pedestrian walkways. Background: urban planning in India frequently neglects pedestrian safety, resulting in high pedestrian fatality rates on national and state highways. Directive: every road must have encroachment-free space for walking. Time frame given: 2 weeks for authorities to issue instructions. Core objective: ensuring pedestrian confidence against moving vehicular threats. Constitutional references: Article 21 of the Constitution of India, encompassing the right to life and safe movement. Farmer protests over Kaveri water release and Mekedatu Dam. Farmers in Tamil Nadu staged unique protests by burying themselves in sand to demand the immediate release of Kaveri river water and oppose the Mekedatu Dam project. Background: the Kaveri river water sharing dispute involves Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, with periodic tensions flaring up over reservoir storage levels. Protest method: burying themselves in sand. Key demands: immediate Kaveri water release and scrapping of the Mekedatu Dam project. State affected: Tamil Nadu. Static GK, the Kaveri river originates at Talkaveri in the western Ghats of Karnataka and empties into the Bay of Bengal. Rajya Sabha notice on Mekedatu Dam project. Member of Parliament Tiruchi Siva moved a notice in the Rajya Sabha to suspend regular rules of procedure and discuss the controversial Mekedatu Dam project. Background: Tamil Nadu has consistently opposed Karnataka's proposed Mekedatu balancing reservoir project, citing potential violations of final tribunal awards. Mover of notice: Shri Tiruchi Siva. House: Rajya Sabha. Objective: suspend regular rules for prioritizing discussion on the Mekedatu Dam and potential tribunal formation. Static GK, Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the Parliament of India, presided over by the Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankar. Constitutional references: Rule 267 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Council of States allows for suspension of rules. Commonwealth Games 2026 Glasgow and 2030 host India. The Commonwealth Games 2026 in Glasgow concluded with the official handover of the flag and baton to Indian representatives, as India prepares to host the 2030 Games. The 2026 Commonwealth Games took place in Glasgow, Scotland. The upcoming 2030 Commonwealth Games will be hosted in Ahmedabad, India. Scottish officials handed over the official Commonwealth Games flag and baton to Indian representatives. Static GK, the Commonwealth Games is a multi-sport event involving athletes from the Commonwealth of Nations, held typically every 4 years. Moving on to news related to state, Andhra Pradesh. NIMS Hyderabad completes 1,000 robotic surgeries. The Nizam's Institute of Medical Sciences achieved a milestone by completing 1,000 robotic-assisted surgeries in under 3 years, with over 90% performed free of cost. Total surgeries completed, 1000 robotic-assisted surgeries. Time frame, under 3 years. Cost factor, over 90% performed free of charge. Medical benefits, reduced postoperative pain, lesser blood loss, shorter hospital stays, and faster recovery. Velama community inclusion demand in other backward classes list. The corporation chairman requested the central government to include the Velama community in the other backward classes list. P.V.G. Kumar stated that community students face difficulties in securing seats in medical colleges and Indian institutes of technology without reservation. Representations are being made to backward classes Welfare Minister S. Savita. Constitutional references, Articles 15, 4, 16, 4 and 340 of the Constitution of India relate to educational and reservation provisions for socially and educationally backward classes. NIMS completes 1000 robotic surgeries. The Nizam's Institute of Medical Sciences achieved a milestone by completing 1000 robotic surgeries in less than 3 years, enhancing affordable public health care. Milestone, 1000 robotic surgeries completed. Duration, less than 3 years. Institution, Nizam's Institute of Medical Sciences located in Hyderabad. Static GK, Nizam's Institute of Medical Sciences, is a premier public hospital and medical university located in Hyderabad, Telangana. Telangana Chief Secretary discusses digital initiatives with World Bank. The Chief Secretary of Telangana held discussions with a World Bank team to review digital governance initiatives and expedite the T-Fiber project. Key project T-Fiber for digital connectivity. Partnership, World Bank collaboration. Objective, ensure high-quality digital services reach every citizen across the state. Rambutan emerges as commercial fruit crop in Kerala. The spiky red rambutan fruit has transitioned from home gardens to become a major fast-expanding commercial fruit crop in Kerala's traditional rubber belt. Crop, rambutan, Nephilium lapaceum. Region, Kerala rubber plantation belt. Trend, diversification from rubber cultivation to exotic commercial fruit farming. Static GK, rambutan is a medium-sized tropical tree belonging to the family Sapindaceae, native to Southeast Asia, requiring warm, humid tropical climates. Moving on to news related to international. Supreme Court directs MEA to trace missing Indian seafarer. The Supreme Court directed the Ministry of External Affairs to take diplomatic action to trace Deepak Kumar Gupta, an Indian seafarer who went missing following a Black Sea drone attack. Missing person, Shri Deepak Kumar Gupta. Incident location, Black Sea. Cause of disappearance, drone strike on the vessel. Executing agency directed, Ministry of External Affairs. New Indian ambassador to Iran appointed. Ministry of External Affairs Joint Secretary Vishwesh Negi was appointed as the next Indian ambassador to Iran. Vishwesh Negi is a 2002 batch Indian Foreign Service officer. The appointment is significant given the geopolitical tensions in West Asia. Static GK, capital of Iran, Tehran, currency, Iranian rial. Aung San Suu Kyi meets International Committee of the Red Cross delegate. Detained Myanmar leader Aung San Suu Kyi met with a delegate from the International Committee of the Red Cross. The meeting was welcomed by her son, Kim Aris. Facilitated by the International Committee of the Red Cross in Myanmar. Static GK, International Committee of the Red Cross Headquarters, Geneva, Switzerland. DeepSeek launches V4 Flash AI model. DeepSeek released its V4 Flash artificial intelligence model, positioning it as the most cost-effective well-known AI model available. Model name V4 Flash. Developer DeepSeek. Primary USP, ultra-low-cost artificial intelligence alternatives and high computational efficiency. Supreme Court directives on missing Indian seafarer. The Supreme Court directed the Ministry of External Affairs to use diplomatic channels to trace an Indian crew member missing following a drone attack near Ukraine in the Black Sea. Background: Indian seafarers often face occupational hazards in conflict zones, prompting judicial intervention for consular access and rescue missions. Incident: Black Sea drone attack on a cargo ship. Target agency: Ministry of External Affairs. Location of incident: near Ukraine in the Black Sea. Static GK: Ministry of External Affairs is headed by the Union Minister for External Affairs, Dr. Subramaniam Jaishankar. Alibaba releases Qwen 3.8 Max Artificial Intelligence Model. Chinese technology giant Alibaba released its largest artificial intelligence model, named Qwen 3.8 Max, rivaling competitors like Anthropic and Moonshot. Background: global technology companies are rapidly scaling up parameter sizes in large language models to enhance complex reasoning and benchmark scores. Model name: Qwen 3.8 Max. Developer: Alibaba. Parameter count: 2.4 trillion parameters. Competitor model mentioned: Kimi K3 from Moonshot. Iran-Oman talks on Strait of Hormuz. Iran announced that diplomatic discussions with Oman concerning the strategic Strait of Hormuz are in their final stages. Discussions update was provided to the Iranian cabinet. The talks highlight significant headway according to the Islamic Republic news agency. The location in focus is the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. Static GK: the Strait of Hormuz is a critical choke point situated between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, vital for global petroleum transport. US-Iran talks announced by Donald Trump. New negotiations between the United States of America and Iran scheduled to begin on Monday. United States President Donald Trump called off a massive planned military strike against Iran. The cancelled strike was described as potentially the largest since World War II. This is all for now. Let us meet again in the next session of Current Affairs. Until then, test your knowledge by attempting quizzes. If our resources are useful to you and think may benefit your friends, well-wishers and neighborhood, share the links to them. And finally, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you won't miss latest updates. Also coming soon on our channel, General Studies series, Arithmetic and Mental Ability series, and Verbal and Nonverbal Reasoning. Stay tuned.